Anyone notice anything different? Well, don't be a tard, I already told you what the thing was in the video title. A new timer. That is now a 30-minute timer, as opposed to the old one, which was a 15-minute. Now this timer I had a lot of trouble even just finding. At the time, the local home improvement store, Home Depot, didn't even have these wind-up timers for whatever reason. This one, the 4-hour one, I had this special order from Intermatic directly. This was back in the day when, you know, online shopping is not what it is today. So it was a while ago. But this one, you know, it's a different knob, it's a different brand. The color is about right. I guess that is yellowed ever so slightly over the years. It's probably hard to tell on video, but they are actually the same color. They're supposed to be. Anyway, but I guess that yellowed over the years, or maybe they changed their plastic formulation. Anyway, the reason that's been replaced with a 30-minute timer as opposed to the 15 is because we now have the warm rinse option. And that can cause a problem when doing the superwash with towels on this machine. We have the warm rinse turned on this one as well. The machines are loaded down with the full 10 towels in each. So we are ready to do a wash. Now I'd like to reiterate the function of this timer once again. This newer Whirlpool has automatic temperature control, or ATC, on pretty much anything but cold. That means when it's on hot, you don't get hot. This was one of those eco movement things. It was right in the early stages. And first and foremost, when it's on hot, it'll mix cold with it to make kind of a warm. And sometimes it just pulses the hell out of the line and really shakes the pipes. Not good. Not good. Certainly not good. So when I want hot water, I want hot water, and that's that. Just like the no fuck around machine here from the 90s, you select hot, you get hot, because we weren't playing that eco game yet. So what this does, because I have this whole system here, controls these sprinkler timers. And what this one does is, there's a 12-volt transformer here. The valves run on 24 volts, which is this transformer that gets power from that. When you energize this one, it powers that, just a light to indicate it. And there is somewhere down in here a relay which switches out the cold. So it cuts power, even though you're giving power. I have it on the normally closed terminal, so when the relay gets power from that, it opens, and this valve then stays closed or shut, and no cold water can flow. So that means that only hot water can flow to both machines, which defeats the automatic temperature control of this. So there you go. That is the hot enable timer. Now, again, this had to be replaced with a 30-minute timer because that would run into a problem. I originally had timed this, you know, with like a stopwatch for both machines, full to the brim with towels on the superwash cycle. This was before the warm rinse. And it takes approximately 13 minutes for them to fill, give or take a minute or so. So it's always been perfect at the 15-minute mark. But I needed to extend that time because this machine will agitate with its first fill on the superwash cycle, and then it does a partial drain and refills. When it would refill, that timer after 13 minutes, 2 minutes later, would expire. The agitation hadn't even stopped on this machine, so then it would refill with warm if the warm rinse option was turned on, because that enables the hot and the cold valves in the machine. So to circumvent that, I extended the time by replacing the timer to a 30-minute. I, of course, timed this as well, and after 13 minutes, both machines had filled. By the expiration of the 30 minutes, this machine has not started refilling for rinse yet. So that means it will always get a warm rinse. And this machine had done its agitation, first agitation and partial drain, and then goes to refill. There is still enough time left on the timer for it to refill fully and start agitating with some minutes left over, in fact, that it will refill with hot. Upon the expiry of the timer, then both machines will fill with warm. So we're ready to go here, and let's start this off. So I'll open the lids as usual. I will wind up the new timer to the 30-minute mark. Has a new sound. And I will start this one. And we are taking hot water over here and taking hot water over here. So I'm going to let these fill, and when they're almost close to that, I will come back. Okay, if you'll note the time on the timer, we're just about the 20-minute mark, and this machine is almost filled. This one, because it has a flow restrictor, has a little bit of ways to go. So let's come back over here. We'll wait till this starts agitating, and I'll show you the time, and then we'll watch the other one fill and show you the time on that. It's just got to get over that top row of holes in the back there, and a little bit more, and then it'll go. Could be any second now. And there we go. As it takes in the detergent and starts rolling over the towels. We are at, about 18 and a half minutes or so. This machine is still filling. We'll watch this agitate for a bit. Coming back over here, we are just getting over the top row of holes and then a little bit more, and this will start agitating. And there that one goes. Here's the time remaining on the timer. We're at 19, 18, 17 minutes left. So with the 15-minute timer, there would be 2 minutes left after the machines had filled with their hot water, and then it would shut off. So in the meantime, these are just going to be agitating. This one is on super watch cycle, like I explained, and soon we'll stop and do a partial drain. Here's some agitation of the newer machine. This machine has just stopped and is going to do a partial drain. Now while that's going, if we look, we are just about past the 15-minute mark. So right now the cold water would be on, and with the warm rinse option turned on, that would get hot and cold water, making only warm. But instead, that is now still on because of the new timer. This is going to pause for a bit and then refill. This machine, of course, is just agitating, doing its thing. Everything is working just the way it should. And we're just waiting for this one to go and refill, or start refilling. Meanwhile, this timer is still counting down. We are just about up to the 12 or 13 minute mark, and this has just gone to refill. And you'll notice, even if I toggle the switch here, nothing is going to happen because there is no cold water available for it. Of course, if I were to turn it to cold, it still stays on because that is the hot and cold together. If I shut it, then it'll stop. But we don't want to mess up the time any. So the warm rinse overrides any setting on here. It makes it warm no matter what you have it on. And again, if I can kill the cold out of the equation of hot and cold equals warm, which is what I'm doing here, then you just get hot. So that's what it's doing. This is still agitating away. We are at, about almost the 11-minute mark, right there. And we'll allow everything to refill. So this has to finish refilling within the 11-minute time span, which obviously that'll not be a problem. And this machine has to make sure it doesn't go and fill for the rinse before that 11-minute time. Okay, this machine is almost done refilling. There we are. And it continues agitating. Now on the heavy cycle, 14 minutes. So this one certainly won't have a problem because we have less than 14 minutes remaining. There's a mark pretty much right where it is that the knob is covering. That's the 10-minute mark. It's marked 10, 20, and 30. But this one has been running all of this time. And we are just about at the regular mark here. So things can get a little dicey, but I'll come back when something happens. We have just over 5 minutes. Just ever so slightly over. And this machine just went into low-speed agitation. Looks like it'll make it. Just washing away, doing its thing. And this one is washing away, doing its thing. Still on high speed. Coming down to the 10-minute mark there. Now this machine is in low-speed agitation as well. This one should be just about done. We have about 1 minute left. Just about. So let's see what's going to happen first. Will this machine stop, or will the timer expire? The timer expired. That keeps moving back until it's straight up and down. Now, the cold water is back on because the hot enable is not enabled. So when this goes to refill for rinse, it can take hot and cold water for the warm rinse. Obviously, if this can do it, this one also can because that timer is no longer set. I should also mention that there may be other times of lower water pressure, such as if the pool needs some water and I happen to have the hose on for that, or something of that nature. And with the margin of error that was here, it doesn't look like it'll even be a problem, even if it takes more than 15 minutes or more than 13 minutes to actually fill the machines for the first go. There was, about 10 minutes or so left on the timer by the time the other machine had refilled. And this one is doing its neutral drain. I keep meaning to put a label over that so it doesn't say surge suppressor, because obviously that was a dollar store thing. I'm sure the surge suppressor of any kind, if there's even one inside China, is of questionable quality and value. I was just going to put a label on that saying sump pump or something like that. And while I was at it, I was going to make some labels for the warm rinse, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So that just drained again. Sharky, I bet you're homesick already. Now we're going to have a spin. Watch the fabric softener. Still quite a bit of a load on it, but you can hear the water being slung out of the towels. There we are. Not the most balanced I've ever seen, but not too bad. And over here is another neutral drain. Spinning shortly. This one, of course, is doing just fine. And that has just stopped. It's going to be able to take hot and cold water. And there it is, it's a warm rinse. The fabric softener has gone in, as you see. That's Suavitel yellow flavor. You'll notice if I turn that off, we'll lose the hot and just get cold. You can actually hear the valve shut. And over here, it will spin. Watch the fabric softener go. She's gone, that's it. Still slinging water out. That one's spinning now, and this one is doing its warm rinse. Definitely warm, no question about it. And chances are very good that the spin over there will be done, and that will be filling for warm rinse as well before this one has completed. And there it is. This one is also filling. You can see the fabric softener going in as it drips down. So obviously we don't have as much pressure because both are filling, but once again I can shut that and you can see a marked difference. This one you don't hear the valve turn on and off really, but they are both filling for warm rinse. The newer machine is almost ready to do the rinse. There we are. And in a few moments, this one, of course, has a ways to go yet. The water is just getting to the top of the towels right there. This one now has full pressure, which again, so you can tell that warm rinse definitely works. And I timed this all out, and I'm very happy it ended up in an increment of 15, 30, or 60 minutes, because that way I could get a timer for the exact amount, and now I can wind it to 30 with the warm rinse on, or if I don't want a warm rinse for whatever reason, I can still wind it to 15, and it will work. In fact, I should still be able to wind it to 30, and that wouldn't be a problem either way. But anyways, it all is working. This will soon start agglerating. This one has finished its rinse fill. Nice warm water for a nice warm rinse. And it's doing its thing. This one, of course, also has some nice warm water. Not quite as warm because, again, of the flow restrictor. This one is actually ready for a neutral drain. spin with the spray rinse, which at this moment will be full pressure because the other machine is still doing its rinse. And there it goes, and of course that's a warm spray rinse. Ooh, that's a shaky one. Not too bad. Gaining speed. The other machine went to do a neutral drain. I'll stay here for the spray rinse. There you go. So what's your stance on the drain? Neutral. Yeah, that's about the extent of the jokes in this one, sorry. Don't worry, Sharky, we're taking care of the moist beads for you. Keeping those beads moist. And a warm spray rinse will happen here now. So that's it. Now the warm rinse is absolutely complete when washing towels to ensure that you get not only a hot fill, but a hot refill, and then a warm rinse, and of course a warm spray. And this one of course does the one fill, which would be hot, and the timer expires with plenty of room to spare to allow this one to refill with the rinse temperature water, which of course is warm with that switch on. It is also possible, if I reset this timer after that machine has done its second fill, that the machines will actually do a hot rinse, which is an option that never existed. So I have such capability. I can do a hot, I can do a warm, or I can do a cold rinse on these machines. It does take a little bit of manual intervention to do that, but it can certainly be done. So with that, I think I'll close this out. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.